When typing your sample lesson plan, begin by putting your name, the date, the lesson plan number, and the topic of the lesson plan here. You're going to find the standard. You're going to write the number and letter if it's applicable, and you're going to write it out here. The standard is a generalization of what the students should be able to do. Next is going to be the grade level. The grade is going to be one grade, not a range. So you wouldn't put something like kindergarten through first grade. It's going to be for a particular grade. So you would write grade, and then let's say it was third, you'd put 3 or third. You don't have to write grade and then third grade again, because that would be redundant. So it's just grade and whatever grade it is here. Next, you're going to write the objective. With the objective, this is more specific. So you see here in the standard, they were recognizing patterns. Here, they're creating a pattern, okay? And it always starts with students will be able to. The verb is always bolded or underlined, all right? And you also have to have a criteria. In the sample, they talk about at least 3 different shapes. So this teacher is expecting each kindergarten student to be able to create a pattern of at least 3 different shapes. Now, some children will be able to do 2 or even more than 3, okay? And that's how you can find out where the children are in the class. So remember, the objective always starts, students will be able to. You need a verb that is underlined or bolded, and it needs to be a criteria that starts with at least, okay? Next, you're going to list your materials. The materials should have bullets. See how there are bullets there? And their numbers, like the quantities. How many buckets am I going to need? How many worksheets? All right? And I put them in parentheses. And then they should be specific. So you see how it says 25 pattern worksheets? We know they're pattern worksheets as opposed to just worksheets. Or if I said 25 papers, what does that mean? 25 pieces of white paper. Okay, it has to be specific. So they're listed with bullets. There are quantities of how many I need, and they're specific. The next thing is the motivation. The motivation is what is the teacher going to do to hook the students onto that lesson? They're showing them a skill. In the motivation, you show a skill. And you always put teacher will as opposed to I will. All right? What is the teacher going to do to get the students excited about the lesson and show the skill that they're going to be practicing? So then we go on to the procedure. Procedure starts with number 1. And the procedures are always numbered. Number 1 is always going to be perform the motivation. Don't write show the student the skill. I just put that there so you understand that the motivation is showing the students a skill. Then you'll continue with the rest of the steps of the procedure. And you notice they're starting with verbs. Or you could start it with teacher will. Then you see how it says allow the students to practice the skill? You're allowing the students to practice whatever the skill is that you showed them in the motivation. After they have some kind of activity where they practice that skill, you're going to assess that skill that you showed them in the evaluation. Okay? So let me scroll back up here so you can see the objective. Students will be able to create a pattern consisting of at least 3 shapes. And then for the evaluation, it says teacher will, because the evaluation is what will the teacher do to see if the students met that objective. So I always begin with teacher will, and whatever the action is. Here, they're collecting and reviewing worksheets. And you're going to put to determine if students were able to. You see how they're both yellow? You take the same wording from here and put it right into your evaluation. It's almost like the objective and the evaluation are married. They're together. Okay? And you see, even down in the sample, I put, see how it matches, it matches the objective exactly. All right? And then I just point out that some of the information is highlighted that's not to be included in your lesson plan. It's there to explain the different parts of the lesson plan. You're going to just have to do your best. You get one shot at the lesson plan where it's not really worth as much, but the second time, really look at the feedback that I give you and apply it to the second one and make the second lesson plan in the class a lot stronger. I hope that this helps you. If not, feel free to utilize the general discussion board area or email me directly. Use this sample as a guide.